We have a lot of our public television stations that are on university campuses. So I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with journalism students and other students. And I feel even at the early parts of our careers, we owe it to those that come up behind us to create opportunities and to share what we're learning through this whole experience. You can tell this was a scarring experience because I'm still talking about a moment from when I was sitting in a banking class with one other woman in the class, and I was trying to ask the professor a question, and finally he was exasperated and said, "I don't know why I'm wasting my time with you. You're only here to find a husband." I'm not that old, and I just, when I was coming up, there was not an abundance of women. And actually, to be honest, there were a few women that I looked up to who really were not as helpful as some of the men.
There was no one that I could ask in many situations, how do I handle this? What does it mean to, do this? Because when you're the first, the one thing is you're an only child. You're isolated. There is no one else. And for instance, when I was going into business for myself, for my first radio station, out of 5 men that I discussed my desire with, 4 told me I was either not emotionally suited to own and operate a station, or I would never get the funding, or it would mess up my personal life. The advice that I was given, I thought at that time was well meant. I thought that they were really trying to look out for me. Sometimes when you're being oppressed, sometimes when you're being disrespected, you don't realize it.
Right.
Because again, who is going to tell you? If there's no one who's done it before, who's going to say, "Oh no, don't listen to them"? Okay, so I'm thinking that they're giving me some heartfelt advice, looking out for me. One said to me, what, you trying to give yourself a nervous breakdown? Why would you?
Wow.
Okay, you created the quiet storm. You're doing this, you should be content. You should be grateful. And I believed them until I got older. I got more mature. And so I'm thankful that women in your demographic, that younger women, you can talk to me, you can talk to others, you can talk to those of us who have gone before you. And we'll tell you, don't listen to that, that's BS.
LATAM it's a very patriarchal culture still. In our industry specifically, like you said, I am a unicorn, and I feel like that sometimes. There are not a lot of people, not a lot of women making content acquisitions decisions in LATAM. I was, again, have to be very strong to stand up to so many people and say, hey, women don't have the equal opportunities. We, can't be treated this way. This is, not acceptable that we do this. And so I built for myself, there in my group, there are a lot of prominent women, and I've given them opportunities and show their work, and, hey, you can do this, and mentoring them through similar things that I went through.
I used to think when I was a lot younger, that I was not necessarily a woman in sports. I was just me. But now I realize there is a responsibility for being a woman in sports, and there's a responsibility for, leading responsibly, and giving back to those who are coming up behind you, and just, trying to be that model of, you don't have to figure it all out, but we're all here to help you.
And so I think in the last 2 years or so, AT&T changed immensely and pushed real changes for women in the market, in the workforce. Today we have a CEO, Melissa Arnoldi, and more than half of her direct reports are women. And so I feel very fortunate to see that maybe a little bit of my voice and my, hey, look at us, don't forget us. It was an embryo for a movement that now has taken off within the company. So So
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Women of my generation, you're a lot younger than I am, but women
Not
of
that
my
much.
generation have lived through this,
Yeah,
and it has been scarring. But we don't want the next generations
that's it.
to have to go through anything like that.